Welcome to Dirt, Sweat, and Gears, where the only thing that's reliable is something being broken. We are here in an empty garage. And why is that? Well, that's because today's project is outside. And my oh my, do I have a story to tell you. If you've been following my Miata videos, I have replaced just about everything in this car. It's pretty much a new car at this point, except for a handful of things that I didn't have to touch because they weren't broken. Well, something is broken. I have no idea what it is, but I do know it is dumb. Last night, I was finished with my day working out at my dad's house. I was doing some remodeling. Came home and was cooking dinner. My wife had gone into the office, so I was going to make a dinner for her to have ready around the time she was due to be home. So I start this pizza dough. I'm gonna make a pizza for her when she gets back, and I get the dough started, and I get a phone call. Now, my wife never calls me. We don't talk on the phone. We never have to. We live together. So what's the point of calling? So the fact that she's calling me is already concerning. So I pick up the phone and she says, "I'm stuck on the freeway. The car shut down. I am in the middle of the freeway, and the car won't move." I go, so what happens? She says, "Well, I tried to start it up and it immediately dies." And to me, in my head, I'm already thinking that could be the mass airflow sensor, or the AFM is what Mazda calls it, the air flow meter. So I'm thinking, okay, pop the hood, unplug the thing, and see what happens. So she does, and she's having a hard time finding what to unplug, but she finds it, she unplugs it, and the car's still doing it. So I said, okay, I don't know. Call AAA and get a tow home. And then she tells me she left her AAA card at home on the counter. The counter which I am currently standing at. And I said, well, I guess I'm going out there. So I hop in my Jeep, and I gotta tell you, I am going faster than anybody has any business in a lifted Jeep going. I'm going so fast in this Jeep that the mirrors fold down. I'm going so fast in this Jeep that I'm hearing new wind noises coming from the dashboard. How fast am I going in this Jeep, you may ask? I am going 78 miles per hour, not even 80. To paint the picture of just where my wife is stuck, she is on the 5 freeway northbound just before the 101 in Los Angeles, downtown LA. Now, if you're not from LA, let me just tell you, this is one of the most busiest interchanges of the busiest freeways in the world. This is like 8 lanes wide, and she's stuck dead center in the middle. Luckily, traffic was already crawling when the car shut down, so it's not like she was any mortal danger of being rear-ended, but this is kind of a big deal. And so I get out there, and CHP had already helped her off the road. The car was being loaded onto a flatbed, and they were going to take us off of the freeway. They took us to a really sketchy neighborhood. We were dropped off on 8th Street and something like 2 blocks away from Skid Row, basically. It's gnarly. Thankfully, there weren't a lot of people on this street, but it was very dark. Night, it was like 8 p.m., 7 p.m. at this point. It was very dark. There were a couple of people living in trailers, and I'm not really concerned about them because people that live in trailers, they're usually just want to be left alone. But otherwise, it was a very sketchy place. Like, you just had to be aware of your surroundings. You had to know where you were, and I was getting a little concerned about the wait time here. So the officer that helped us out stayed with us for a good half hour or so, but eventually he had to go. So he took off. And, he was very helpful and really great to us. He was actually pretty awesome. He was a car guy. He said he had done an LS swap in an RX-7, so he actually really liked the Miata. Thankfully, he was just like really cool to my wife. She got to ride with him in the squad car, which I've never done. That's kind of awesome. So he had to take off, and so we're just sitting here waiting for AAA. And I was going to send her off and just wait alone, but she decided she wanted to stick around. So we stuck around, and we ended up waiting kind of an eternity. And I gotta say, I was really unhappy with AAA, this service. It was bad. It was just straight bad. And I found out what the cause of their failure was that they did not send my phone number to the towing company. They only sent my membership number. And I said, what the hell are they going to do with a membership number and a name? They need to be able to call me. They said, oh, well, when police dispatch makes a call, it usually doesn't send. I said, well, that's bullshit. You have my phone number with my membership, right? I said, yeah. Well, send that over. At least send the default phone number attached to the account. And he was like, well, and then he starts typing away. He says, okay, that should happen next time. I'm like, whatever. Paying extra for RV and motorcycle for AAA, and I'm getting just crappy service. Finally, the tow company calls me up after waiting for 2 hours, and he tells me, we actually don't have any drivers between 6 and 8 p.m. And if I had your phone number, I would have called you at 6 and told you. And I said, well, if you had been able to call me and tell me, I would have been fine with that. I would have been annoyed at the wait, but at least I would have known, and I would have known why, and I wouldn't be sitting here getting pissed off because I'm hearing, oh, it'll be 30 minutes. Oh, it'll be 30 minutes. Oh, it'll be 30 minutes. Because that's their canned response. And that just really irritates me. Finally, the tow shows up, and we get home. And now I have a broken car in the driveway. So, thankfully, my wife has been really cool about this, I gotta say. She has just, once we got to safety, she was good spirits. I felt like I had let her down. I felt like I had given her a broken car. She just accepted that it's part of being with me, which I guess is, for better or for worse, true. So let's go take a look at this car. I'm gonna try to start it up and show you what exactly this thing is doing, and then we're gonna try to diagnose it. All right, so this is exactly what happened. We're gonna put the key in. We're gonna turn it on. Fans blaring. Turn off the radio. Starts up and dies. This is typical for a bad mass airflow sensor. So usually when that happens, all you have to do is unplug the mass airflow sensor. Let's go do that. So it wasn't that. Let's go ahead and plug this back in. Let's see. Anything out of place? Not really. That's cracked, but that's not a big deal. All the spark plugs in. Coils in. Electrical connections are in and looking good. So there's a few things this could be. This is really acting. Oh, look at that. That's broken. I wonder. Let's replace this and see what happens. Huh. Okay, so that's interesting. So the battery was definitely low. I'm going to give it a little bit of time to charge, and then we're going to test it. Could be the ignition switch itself. It could be going bad, and that would cause the short in the air fuel meter system. So that's where I'm going to be headed next, assuming this battery is okay. But this vacuum line is very interesting. If that didn't solve the problem, I have a feeling the car is going to drive better. now that I've properly capped that. Okay, well, I tested my totally safe battery from 2018, and it tested bad. So I don't know if that was the cause of this problem, but this is something that needs to be fixed, so we're going to fix it. And I'm going to fix it with an actual Miata battery this time, so that maybe, eventually, I won't have to use a ratchet strap to hold it down. So I've used my hyper-advanced vehicle diagnostic tool right there, and let's take a look at what we got. We turn the car on, and we're going to watch the check engine light blink. We've got a code 1. Code 1. All right, so code 1 is the ignition pulse signal. So that could mean a few things. Timing belt broke, but it's a new timing belt. It could be that this isn't working anymore, but I believe I've got a new one of those as well. It could be coil packs. It's got new coil packs. Could be a bad ground. I believe that. So let's take a look for our ground connections. And so there's one, and then I had another one down here as well. So either one of these could be bad. I don't know. I don't know why it would be bad. But all right, after doing a whole bunch of diagnosing, troubleshooting, I did get the new battery, and it is, well, it's small. That didn't solve the problem though. So I have kind of narrowed it down just based on internet searches and whatever testing I could do. I believe it's the cam angle sensor. And the reason I believe that is because I've pretty much replaced everything else. The only other component I haven't replaced brand new is the igniter, and that also could be bad. But since the cam angle sensor is the most expensive component on this list, I went ahead and just ate that because, well, I don't know. Because I like wasting money. I don't know. So that's going to arrive Tuesday. In the meantime, this Miata is dead, and we got to get it in the garage. I have to get it out of the way because my wife gets to take the Prelude to work on Monday. So we're going to do something really, really, really stupid. I have disabled the neutral safety switch. As you can see down, you may or may not be able to see down here. All I had to do was disconnect the line that goes into the clutch and jump it with a paper clip. From there, well, I got the battery charging, and we're going to bump this thing in reverse and hope it gets up this giant hill into my garage. I'm going to have to get some speed, so I have it kind of way up in the driveway here, and hope I can guide it into the garage without destroying anything. Hope. So you see how close I am. If I could just get that one wheel up, should be able to get the car in, even though I'm kind of digging myself in on the other side. Yep. It. And so completes the dumbest off-road recovery in all of history. I got the Miata in the garage, finally, with the help of my wife, and believe it or not, my electric motorcycle. There is no way that that was not very, very, very hard on the poor starter. And not to mention, quite hard on my brand new battery. But it's brand new, so I'm going to hook it up to the slow charger, and it'll be just fine because it's brand new. And since I already dumped $1,000 into this car, what's another 50 for a new starter? So whatever. I'll just put that on order and put that in when it arrives. Now that the Miata is in the garage, finally I can wait for parts. Actually, while I'm here, I did order a shorty antenna because this antenna was catching on the screen every time we pull in and out of the garage. So I ordered a shorty antenna that's been in for quite a few days now. So I can go ahead and do that kind of at my leisure while I'm waiting for these other parts. So let's talk about what I ordered. I went ahead and ordered pretty much everything that I could think of that would cause this problem. Why? Because, well, it just didn't make sense to do one thing and then wait and then do another thing and then have that go out and then do another thing and have that go out. So I went ahead and just ordered a bunch of stuff to solve potential problems. Either I'm going to solve this problem or I'm going to solve future problems. This is the way I see it. So first I ordered a cam angle sensor. That was actually kind of most likely what's causing this code 1 and this failure that you see before you. I also ordered a new main relay because I had read that that can cause very similar problems. So I ordered a new main relay. And I figured since I checked in on this car about 2 weeks in and had to add a bunch of oil to it, probably close to half quart. I also ordered an oil catch can. And so I'm going to put that on. And if that works out really well on the Miata, I'm going to get another one identical and put it on the Prelude because it's just a generic Moroso catch can. So that will hopefully reduce the amount of oil that just gets blown out the exhaust. I also ordered tow hooks to make getting this car up and down my driveway and up and down a tow truck a lot easier. I got I got actual race-ready approved tow hooks. I didn't get anything that just meant to look good. These are actually tow hooks that are approved for use on a racetrack. So if I ever decide to track this car, I'll have the correct hooks for it. I put these parts on. I'm going to try it one at a time. So I'm going to put the cam angle sensor on and then clear the code, try to start the car, and then put the main relay in, clear the code, try to start the car. I'll just keep working until I solve this problem. Okay, the new cam angle sensor arrived, and before I put this in, I just wanted to point out why I am hopeful that this will work. So here's the old one, and you see I'm applying the same pressure all the way around, and it's kind of moving all chunky, like it's not even. But this one is butter smooth. So whatever's going on inside here, I think could be bad. If this works, we're going to take this apart and see what went wrong. Let's give it a try. Check engine light off. What? Huh. Well, it's been 2 more days since my failure with the... Wow, I've got lens flare. J.J. Abrams, call me. So it's been a couple of days since this little failure here with the cam angle sensor. I'm going to go ahead and keep the setup that we currently have with the brand new one in the car. And I'm going to clean this one up and see if I can sell it on eBay maybe. Just because I like having the brand new part with the lifetime warranty. Let's take a look at some of the stuff I got from Flying Miata this time around. Here is a new main relay. I am really hoping this fixes the problem. I'm going to start with that. If that is successful, or if it isn't, just depending on how much time I have to throw around, I have a new oil catch can. This is super cool. It is beautiful. It's from Moroso. We got some mounting hardware, some hoses, and I've got tow hooks. I decided to go with white tow hooks just because I thought white hooks on a red car, well, this is supposed to be red. It is, I don't know what it is now, but it's, yeah. Anyway, the car is supposed to be red, and I think once I do paint it proper red, it's going to look awesome with these white tow hooks. So we're going to put those on. It'll also make it a lot easier to tow. I more or less have the oil catch can in place. I do have to tighten down these two Allen screws. I hate Allen bolts, by the way. Absolutely hate them. You can see on this side, I used a regular bolt and nut. And that's because it was really hard to get back there. So I ended up just, I think I lost the Allen screw or the lock nut that came with it. I don't remember. But anyway, we got this in you just have to tighten this down a little bit. These hoses came with the catch can, but I'm going to trim them down just a little bit because this is a little more than I need. Maybe run this underneath here. Let's see how it looks. No, probably not. That's a vacuum. So yeah, we'll just clean this up a little bit, and then we'll be able to reconnect that. Obviously, I also have to put the coil packs back in place too. But I have to get my razor knife. It is across town. So I've got some other work to do today, and I'm going to come back with my razor knife, and I'll be able to trim those up and finish that little part up. It looks pretty good. I was a little bit surprised that it had 3 mounting points and not 4, like the original. That is over here and very, very tiny. But I do like that it sticks down nice and far to get a hook in without messing up the bumper. Up on the front, I have not yet installed the tow hook, and that is because the car is missing the bolts that came in that spot. So let's see, where did I put the bolt? So I went over to my, if you want to call that a workbench, I went over there. I call this right now long-term storage for parts and tools. I really got to clean that. But anyway, I went over to my box of nuts and bolts and I matched up this one. This fits seemingly perfectly, so I'm going to get 4 more of these and some washers, and we're going to use that to mount that tow hook. Huh. Okay. Yeah, so the ignition switch is not really even screwed in. I don't really know what's going on in this car, but I'm not sure I like it. So I got the old one out, and I got them mixed up. I can't tell which one's the new one and which one's the old one. I have no idea. I mean, wow, Jesus. Like, all kidding aside, my God, this is really something. So let's get the new one in and see if the car starts. Okay. Well, I guess the prelude is my wife's car now. That's not my car anymore.